Cricbits and Pieces, and an expert panel. So hello and welcome to another episode of Cricbits and Pieces. We have the unexpert panel, which is kind of gaining the tag of being the experts, right? So welcome on board, Rohit bhai. Welcome.
Hi, Arshdeep bhai.
For the new episode. Welcome, Rahul Parashar.
Thank you.
Rahul Parashar is a traveling unexpert today, so but glad you can join. तो आज हम लोग के पास of course a little late because हम लोग बाकी चीजों में शायद busy थे कुछ दिनों से, festivals and all. But we have to do the review of India versus South Africa. A tight match as expected. It did not turn up in our favor, but a couple of really shining points there for Team India, and a couple of worrisome signals as well, right? So that is the match that we are here to discuss today. Results सबको पता है, हम लोग हार गए बहुत tight match हो गया last over में, of course. Or with that context, opening up the floor, anyone who wants to take it away.
Rohit bhai, as usual.
अर्जित भाई, पहली बात यह है कि हमने प्रीव्यू में जो बात किया था, what team we had selected, more or less we were correct for both the teams, except for the fact that Akshar Patel was dropped and they brought in Deepak Hooda. So one of the things that we have to talk here is ki Deepak Hooda kyun? So logically it makes sense that the team was thinking about making the batting lineup much more stronger. Perth ka pitch tha, hindsight mein unhone zero banaya and neither his bowling was used. That is totally another matter. But I think we can understand the rationale behind that. Number two, as you said, that match bahut close tha, and kudos have to be given to Suryakumar Yadav and our bowlers, specifically all the three fast bowlers. They really bowled their heart out. That was another very good matter, a good thing. Personally, if you think kahan hare, I think if our fielding would have been at par to what they did. Look at what Rabada has done. He is a fast bowler. He takes a so tough catch. Means Hardik Pandya ka wo catch nahi hona chahiye tha. And look at what we have dropped. So there is the big difference. I think thoda agar hamara fielding par pe rehta, run out miss karna, catch girana. So initial comments would be fielding was the difference between the two teams. That's the thing. PB.
No, I think fielding for sure. I think our fielding was shoddy at best. Like the catches that we dropped, the two run-out chances that we had, neither of those should have been at this level. And obviously, Virat Kohli is probably one of the best fielders going around. He probably is feeling worse than anyone else, and no one will be able to criticize him enough. He, I think, is probably in that self-introspection, self-critical mode right now. So anyone telling him anything otherwise is not really going to make that much of a difference. I think he knows what he did wrong, and the two run-out chances missed were also missed opportunity. And we've talked at length about how our fielding is. This is probably the worst fielding side that we have fielded in the last decade. But those are like systemic problems. I don't think that's something that we'll be able to solve in the course of this tournament. I think things stand as they do. For me, it's the batting. Our batting is looking increasingly shaky. And if you remember when we were talking about the match preview, going into this match, how the bounce in Perth is going to be a factor. If you look at the number of wickets that we lost, out of the 9 wickets that fell, if I take Rahul's wicket out, 6 out of the 9 were top edges. Rohit Sharma fell to Louis Ngedi's ball, couldn't even clear the circle. Same with Dinesh Karthik. In fact, Rohit Sharma's ball, if you look at it, it was bowled at 130 Ks. So it wasn't the speed, it was the additional bounce that did him. And you will see that pattern throughout. Like Hardik Pandya's wicket was also like a top edge that went to fine leg. Same for Dinesh Karthik. So it's the bounce that our batsmen are having trouble coping with, except for Deepak Hooda. Even Surya, he played a phenomenal knock. But at the end of the day, when his wicket fell, he was trying to clear the infield and he couldn't because he was done by the additional bounce. So I think that's something that our batting lineup needs to factor in going into the next match. And I find it, anyone who's arguing against Rishabh Pant's inclusion at this point will have to make a pretty hard case, given his background, having scored the amount of runs. Sure, it's the test match format, it's a different format altogether. But Rishabh Pant on fast, bouncy wickets is a definite plus over somebody like a Deepak Hooda. So we'll talk a lot more about this. But I think our batting at this point of time is looking increasingly shaky, and +1 to our bowling lineup. Like going into this tournament, if you remember the first episode that we had recorded, we were talking about how our bowling might fall short and our batting was our mainstay and our strength. That is looking exceedingly, the results that we are seeing it's the diametrically opposite of that. I think Arshdeep, for me, bowled the best spell, that first spell that he bowled. And when he took those two left-handers out, that is one of the best bowling spells that I have seen from any of our fast bowlers in a very long time. So that bowling attack, yes, sure, Ashwin had a bad day, and we'll talk at length about what else we could do. But I think our batting right now is looking shaky, which is not a good sign, given where we are at this, given the stage of the tournament that we're at right now.
Sure. I think the big ones have been called out, right? Of course, the fielding errors, and Virat Kohli, of all people, missing out on that catch, which was a straightforward, pretty simple catch, was shocking. And I think it happened because it had to happen in that way, right? That South Africa was supposed to win. Because उस समय में अगर Markram out हो जाता, even the run out in the next over that Sharma missed, very straightforward. He could have run and hit the wicket probably. लेकिन ये दोनों चीजों से मार्करम अगर उस दोनों समय में कभी भी आउट हो जाता तो शायद मैच और टाइट करके हम लोग निकालने का कोशिश कर सकते थे. बट bowling huge plus, something that we also talked about in our preview, saying कि in a conducive environment our bowling becomes much more lethal as well, right? So अगर कोई सामने वाली अच्छी bowling attack है, वो उसका जो difference होता है percentage का, right? So they go from probably a 90% bowling attack to 10% higher, तो 99 जा सकते हैं. But हम 75 से 25% का ग्रोथ ले आते हैं, तो we go really high. So that ways I think effectiveness बढ़ जाता है. But with Bumrah around, it would have been like a different game altogether. Ashwin had a bad day, which is something unusual, something that we also talked about on our preview. Ashwin is a safe bowler. इसीलिए I think they had that confidence to drop Akshar, because saying कि अक्षर को हम शायद उतना bowling ना दे पाएंगे, क्योंकि middle over में इनके पास they have the line of left armers, right? Quinton de Kock अगर बचा रहेगा तो वो खेल रहा होगा, रैली जैसो नहीं आउट होगा तो वो खेल रहा होगा, डेविड मिलर आने वाला होगा, तो अक्षर पटेल का बॉलिंग हो सकता है हम लोग को होल्ड बैक ही करना पड़े. तो इट इज बेटर टू पुट इन समवन लाइक दीपक हुडा. आई डोंट थिंक दे एवर थॉट कि दीपक हुडा से बॉलिंग कराएंगे, लेकिन एज अ बैटर दे वांटेड टू से कि बाउंसी पिच है, इट वाज एक्सपेक्टेड कि हो सकता है कुछ बैटर आउट हो जाए हमारे, वो एक्स्ट्रा बाउंस के चक्कर में एज लेके दिस दैट, बिकॉज हरीश राव भी हम लोग को दिखाया था कि पेस के साथ भी थोड़ा भी एक्स्ट्रा बाउंस आएगा तो हम लोग को थोड़ा सा दिक्कत होगा. But Surya, Arshdeep, Parashar, you mentioned Arshdeep अच्छा ही कर रहा है. I think that is something.
क्या spell भाई, मतलब oh.
And I think we touched upon that during the preview and other. I think Pakistan वाले match में we talked about it. New ball is something that he's been doing really well. He was looked at as a death bowler, but new ball. But Shami in that game against South Africa, the way he bowled was amazing, and Shami was a question mark when we were talking about अपने bowling का strength. We were talking कि Shami के पास match practice नहीं है, पता नहीं कैसा करेगा. But Shami,
like enforcer जो term use होता है ना, that's what he is playing. And what an amazing bowler यार. मतलब बिना match practice के coming into a big game and to deliver like that is outstanding.
So it is a loss. But I don't think it's a denting loss in the term saying कि भाई वर्ल्ड कप ही नहीं जीत पाएंगे ऐसे, तो ये वो उतना बुरा नहीं है. Few changes are required. I think, as I said, couple of bright spots: Arshdeep, Shami, and Surya. Right? Surya पे again preview में we talked about कि Surya bounce कैसे handle करेगा, right? And
the questions now. The questions now.
So
finish it up.
So that is there. DK is a question mark. KL Rahul is a question mark, and Ashwin but one bad game, I don't know how harsh, because Sharma and the management has a lot of confidence in Ashwin, right? So pata nahi Ashwin ka what kind of calls will they make. I think if it still there is some bit of spin in the track, Ashwin will be the preferred spinner over Akshar any day, is how I see it. But batting maybe we'll have to look. I'm sure DK is injured also, so DK ka pata nahi kal ke match mein against Bangladesh what what scene will be there according to his fitness or something. But agar DK out hai, to DK ka bhi have a straightforward replacement, Pant. The bigger issue is if we are trying to make any change at the top, right? Because KL Rahul, I think KL Rahul has shown everyone की talent बहुत ज्यादा है. जिस दिन मारूंगा मैं बहुत मारूंगा और बहुत अच्छा मारूंगा भाई. मैं 100 रन बनाऊंगा तो वो 100 रन देखने में तुमको लगेगा कि 150 का मजा आ गया वैसा. लेकिन the frequency at which this thing is happening is too low, and going into a World Cup, uske talent pe sabko confidence hai, of course, but I don't know how the management is going to handle him, because he needs some help, and I don't think it is skill related. I think it is something in his brain that is not allowing him to play freely, and it is very evident with the way he walks in, the way he takes the stance, the way he plays shot, follows through and all that. Netherlands वाले मैच में रिव्यू नहीं लेना. Was मतलब उससे ज्यादा meek behavior क्या हो सकता है किसी का? Playing international cricket in a tournament as big as the World Cup. So Rahul needs to get out of his shell.
Yeah, Rahul के साथ that's the problem. Now he got out playing a nothing shot. Like what was he trying to do? क्या कर रहा था? Right? And same concern I have with Deepak Hooda also. I don't think Deepak Hooda should be. He does not deserve a spot ahead of people like Shreyas Iyer, people like even Sanju Samson for that matter. I would play Sanju Samson as a pure batsman. Again, it's a moot point since those people are not in the squad. Why is Deepak Hooda? You saw the shot that he got out playing. Right? What was that? पैर कहीं हिला नहीं, हाथ सिर्फ डाल दिए, नोटिया साला वो बॉल डाल रहा है 140 145 के पेस पे. Like he had no clue. So what is his role in the side? If he's not a pure batsman and he's not going to bowl, why is he in the team? I would much rather bring in again, I'm going to harp on my wrist spinner wala argument again. I would much rather play an additional spinner, because I know that batting mein, you're not going to get anything out of him. We are stuck with the squad that we have. I don't think we'll be able to replace 3 batsmen. We don't have that many batsmen in our squad. So Rahul has to be there. But I think I would just chuck out, even agar Dinesh Karthik ke case mein bhi, if the injury is not a concern, I would still give him a couple of more matches. But I would probably not stick around with Deepak Hooda. I would just bring in Rishabh Pant instead of a Hooda and, send him up to the top of the order and maybe drop Rahul to the middle order to maybe, just shuffle things around. But our batting is looking increasingly shaky right now. I think Surya's batting performance was a breath of fresh air. Like that counter-attacking knock that he played, one of the best knocks in the tournament so far, against a hostile bowling attack on an incredibly testy wicket. So Surya coming through is a good sign. I still have my doubts about Pandya. Pandya, theek hai, Rabada took a really good catch, but Rabada had to come in 20 yards to take that catch. And that's not a good sign when your batsman is trying to hook the ball and batsman ko 20 fielder ko 20 yard andar aake catch lena pade. That's not a good sign. कम से कम बाउंड्री तक तो पहुंचा यार. हमारे साथ वही प्रॉब्लम हो रहा था यार. 30 यार्ड सर्कल नहीं क्रॉस हो रहा था हमारे बैट्समैन से. दिनेश कार्तिक भी वैसे ही आउट हुआ, रोहित शर्मा भी वैसे ही आउट हुआ. So what are we doing?
Now just to play the role of devil's advocate. See, last match में भी हमने बात किया था कि why don't we replace Rahul with Pant? So उस चीज पे हमने बहुत बात की, but I'll bring another point here. Look at the other team and their openers. Josh Butler is not scoring runs. Warner is not scoring runs. Finch is struggling. If you look, Pakistan's both the openers, Rizwan and Babar, they are not scoring runs. If at all there is any opener, Bavuma is struggling. Opener who is making runs, it is Quinton de Kock. Of course, against us, he didn't score. And then the Irish openers, Balbirnie and Paul Sterling, have scored a few runs. So one thing is very clear, opening has become a big issue. And it is not only for us, it is an issue with all the countries, because maybe Sri Lanka is not that affected. Nisanka and Kaushal De Silva, they both have scored a few runs. Kisi na kisi match mein score kiya hai. Otherwise, almost every team is struggling right now with their opening combinations. Of course, I'm not trying to defend Rahul because Rahul's body language is not positive. He is in a shell. You cannot start a T20 on the 10th ball of the inning. For 9 balls, we had scored nothing. Yeah. Rahul was there on the pitch for 14 balls. Out of those 14 balls, he hit 1 6. And apart from that one particular hit, none of the 13 balls, Wayne Parnell, he was as if he was playing a test match. I understand you are trying to protect yourself for the first or second over, but it cannot be that you go into so much of shell. Because agar aap dekhe, Rohit Sharma also was around 15 runs out of 13 or 14 balls. And in that duration, Rahul had done almost nothing. So it creates pressure on your partner also. Now, going forward, again, I'll say that, see, Bangladesh, I would suggest that we should go ahead with at least 2 changes in this team. The 2 changes, at least, I don't know about Dinesh Karthik right now, how much injured he is, so I cannot predict on that. But Rahul should be given a rest at this moment. I'll not say dropped. And we should bring in Rishabh Pant. Let him open, because, see, Tashkin Ahmed is not going to be a Nokia. He'll not be bowling at 150s or something. Rishabh Pant has the experience. He can give you a flamboyant opening, 40 plus, let's say in 3 or 4 overs. This will put a, base for the future overs. And I would definitely drop Deepak Hooda. See, I don't agree entirely with PPY that why Deepak Hooda is there in the team. He's there because of his few performances that he gave in Ireland, England, as well as in West Indies. But yes, I think he was not prepared for this bouncy pitch of Perth. Because Arshdeep bhai, hum logon ne ye baatcheet ki thi, the ideology of the team for the last 6 months has been to hit, go out and attack. That is the ideology with which he came. But he was not equipped to handle this pace bowling, this pitch. Maybe he would have done good in Sydney, maybe in Adelaide, but not in Perth.
Yeah.
So again, at this moment, he should be out. In his place, again, Akshar Patel should come. That makes the team much more balanced. And I would definitely put Rahul out at least, because now there are only 2 matches. And Bangladesh tomorrow, I don't know whether it will rain or not. So that is another big problem for us. And the other issue would be that there is only 1 match after that, that is against Zimbabwe. So if you have to try Rishabh Pant, you have to try it right now.
Yeah.
Lastly, Ashwin, I will definitely like him to be in the team for at least 1 more match against Bangladesh. The reason, again, Bangladesh has got a lot of left-handers. And again, those left-handers are no David Miller. You don't expect Shanto or let's say even Shakib to go out and hit like that. So I would definitely like him to be there at least against the match of Bangladesh. And only these 2 changes I predict for the squad or the team for the next match.
So that is about the next match, Rohit bhai. But on this match, right? Of course, we have talked about all the Indian performance ki kahan par hum log dekh rahe hain, changes required hai. Rahul ke sath kuch to issue hai. Someone has to spend a lot of time with him, saying kyunki bhai, matlab usko jagana padega. Bhai tere mein shakti hai, kuch kar. I think that is what needs to happen with him. Because Rahul, everyone who has seen Rahul play speaks very highly of him. So Bangalore, when I go out, I play some people. So there are people who have seen him play uske school, college ke samay mein. And they speak of he can do unbelievable things on ground very frequently. He used to do that. Lekin abhi wo aayega. So a lot of people who have played with him a little or something like that, वो लोग ये कहते हैं कि वो एक नॉक चाहिए, उसको एक नॉक चाहिए. But वो एक नॉक आने के लिए काफी लेट होता जा रहा है टूर्नामेंट. It's too big a tournament to have such a long rope and long wait for that big knock. So Rahul, वो ठीक है. South Africa की तरफ से we were expecting their pace bowling to be really effective under these conditions and hostile, right? Hostile is the word that Parashar used in the last episode and today. And they did that. And they did that really well. I think Wayne Parnell started off with a maiden over. And of course, first 9 balls, we had 0 on the board. Then a 6 on the 10th ball. But you cannot start a T20 at 10th ball, right? As Rohit bhai mentioned. But South Africa side, how do you see? The batting, we were able to get the big ones really cheaply, right? Quinton de Kock and Riley Rousseau. But then Miller and Markram, the middle order, the untested middle order that we also talked about on our preview episode, Rohit bhai, right? But they came good. And Miller shifted gear right at the right time, right? He was going really slow till his 30. And then he shifted it to a proper propelled kind of speed on which he flew and just took the match away from us. As simple as that. Ashwin ka last 2 over were very expensive, primarily because of Miller, right? Miller had that confidence saying कि नहीं Ashwin का ही wait करेंगे और Ashwin को ही मारेंगे. And another thing, I think Miller पे हम लोग को थोड़ा सा बात करना चाहिए, right? Miller has improved. He was already very good, but he has gone from a gun player to a beast mode player, if we can say that, right? And there is something that he has changed, right? Spin ke saath uska struggle has completely gone out. That was something that he used to struggle a lot. IPL में बहुत सालों तक he was not doing well only because of that. कि low slow पे वो फंस जा रहा है, टांग दे रहा है, ball catch हो जा रहा है. That is what was happening with him as a finisher, right? Because finisher was the role that he started with, and finisher was the role that he still is doing. As a finisher, he has been doing that for all the teams that he has played for. लेकिन पिछले मेरे ख्याल से 1.5-2 साल में he has changed something. I think he has worked it out with his father, who is his coach, and his father is very proud of him, saying that there are technical changes that he has done, and none of the experts have been able to pick that out yet. So
if it's in the V, it's out. It's in the tree. If it's in the arc, it's out of the park. Yeah, Miller to hamesha se yaar stud batsman. He's been doing this for a while. Like I don't know how many people remember his inning from Punjab Kings 11. The 100 that he scored. Like I know hundreds get scored. There's always one special century that gets scored in an IPL, but there's a few that always stick in your mind. For me, AB de Villiers ka 100, 2009 series ka, that's one that sticks around. But same holds for David Miller. Proper cricketing shots. Like no, that's what I like about him. You won't see, unnecessary ramp and sweep and reverse sweep. वो सीधा मारेगा long on long off के ऊपर से, fielder है नहीं है, उसको कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. Straight back, proper cricketing shots, and that is why I feel David Miller has done well in the recent past. And that's where I feel somebody like a Tenda Babuma needs to take a leaf out of his book. And Rohit, by just going back to the point that you were making earlier, openers are struggling. I think part of the reason they are struggling is because they're still in that mindset, कि जो India वाला mindset that you were talking about, कि आएंगे और मतलब will start hitting. These conditions are probably not suited for that. Perhaps you need your batsman to go back to that test match mode and proper cricketing shots खेलो, long on long off के ऊपर से मारो, cover drive मारो, सीधा बैट से खेलो, you'll get a lot more runs. नहीं जरूरत है यार 170-200 के स्ट्राइक रेट पे मारने का. आप 110-120 के स्ट्राइक रेट पे रन बनाओ ना. हमारे बैट्समैन के साथ वही ना दीपक हुडा की बात कर रहे हैं हम कि दीपक हुडा came in with a mindset की मतलब उसी mindset के साथ आया. यार 2-4 बॉल डिफेंड तो कर लो, बीच बैट पे खेल तो लो. 50 पे 5 है आपका साइड. And you didn't see where's that temperament, जो match temperament चाहिए. You can't hit your way out of a situation like this. And that is what. And अगर आप मार भी रहे हो तो यार कम से कम you at least show that you're making it. आपका पैर हिला नहीं है. बॉलर आपको पता है कि क्या कर रहा है. Off on a length, slightly bouncy, going away. हाथ पैर आपका हिला नहीं. हर आदमी सहवाग नहीं ना बन सकता भाई. And especially in these conditions. That is the bone that I have to pick with, Huda selection. And I'm all for, coming in and, hitting the ball. हो सकता है अगले मैच में खेले, and for all I know, he scores a cracking 100. Who knows? But based on everything that I saw in yesterday's match, no, he doesn't deserve a spot in the middle order.
He failed. He absolutely failed. There is no denying that thing. But the thing is, what he has been told in the last 6 months, he was doing that. That's the only thing. I'm not denying that. He failed. He could have waited for a few balls, could have seen a few balls, could have not hit that particular ball, which was so outside the off stump. And he could have done anything differently. But the thing is, last 6 months में the same template worked for them in UK, Britain में जब हम लोग England में 3 T20 खेलने गए, Ireland में खेले. In Ireland, he made a very good century. If you see, the same template has been working for this Surya Kumar Yadav. He has not changed his style of play. So one of the things is you are, having some cricketers who are very, very, confident about their abilities. Of course, he failed there. But then एक और point लाते हैं आप लोग. देखिए एक चीज, we lost. And everybody is talking about South African fast bowling, absolutely. But one big difference was where Ashwin got hit for 43 runs in 3 overs, 3.3 overs, exactly 4 overs, in fact. Their spinners got hit for 33 runs. Your Maharaj and Makram had done 1 over. So, hamare fast bowlers ne bhi economically utna hi kiya. We also got 3 of their wickets very quickly. And maybe agar एक विकेट पहले मिल जाता तो शायद हम और जल्दी कुछ करते, because Shami, your Arshdeep and Bhuvneshwar, they were really good. So looking forward, I'm very happy that our bowling has done very good. And again, yes, एक दो batsman वाला sort हो जाए, because बीच में Kohli and Surya Kumar Yadav have got the runs. So now बाहर में एक ही बैठा हुआ बंदा आपका ऋषभ पंत, and everybody knows he is a charismatic cricketer, talismanic है. उसको मौका दीजिए, ऑस्ट्रेलियन ग्राउंड से उसको प्यार है, ब्रिस्बेन में खिला दीजिए, सिडनी में खिला दीजिए, बच्चा चमत्कार कर देगा. मौका तो देके दीजिए. नहीं, सीरियसली, अरे वो तो पीछे से स्लेजिंग करके एक मैच निकाल देगा अपने मन पे. आप बांग्लादेश को तो ऐसे खा जाएगा. तो आई एम ओनली सेइंग कि प्लीज एक मौका उसको दीजिए, एंड आई एम वेरी कॉन्फिडेंट दैट see time has come. एक बार उसको ओपन करा के देख लीजिए, he will do good. मतलब see, last thing, हमारा और कोई भी मैच पर्थ में नहीं है.
नहीं, लेकिन रोहित भाई, that's the point. अगर आप SCG का भी विकेट देखें, so this is not the traditional SCG का विकेट.
I know.
This is by far the, at least TV पे देखने पे, obviously it's all on TV. This is by far the quickest and the bounciest SCG wicket that I have seen in the 20 years of cricket that we have been following.
Our people who follow us from Australia also, they are saying that this is the quickest that they have seen SCG to be over the last few years. They have told us personally. So,
and that is by design. That is by design. ऐसा नहीं, it is not a, ऐसा नहीं है कि अचानक से बन गया है wicket. That is by design. So our team should expect similar wickets at every venue that they are playing. And I'm sorry to say this, but so far everything that we are saying, like Hardik Pandya की इतनी बात हम लोग, like we've been talking about Hardik, he hasn't come to the party. He's struggling, and that's not a good sign. Bowling में I could see उसका fitness वगैरह जो issues था, thankfully that is not a concern. Like भाई 85-86 पे फेंकना is a big deal, and he was doing that. लेकिन यार batting में like he needs to do more. I'm sure big match player, commit the hour, commit the man वाला हिसाब हो सकता है. For all we know, India के knockout games में Hardik Pandya is the guy who outshines everyone else. But so far, he's falling short technically, and that's a bad sign.
He'll
score.
He will. I have more faith on Hardik Pandya than KL Rahul but KL Rahul को लेके सबसे ज्यादा दुख है मेरे को.
यार राहुल सही में यार, मतलब इतना बढ़िया बैट्समैन है वो, इतना कॉम्पैक्ट प्लेयर है वो, जो छक्का भी मारा हमको लगा कि भाई आज दिन है,
आज जगह है
लड़का हमारा. लेकिन साला फिर वही टेंटेटिव साला बैट हैंगिंग आउटसाइड द ऑफ स्टंप.
पता नहीं क्यों. Attack is the best defense, but too much defense is the worst defense.
That is the thing. We all are supporters of KL Rahul, but we are not able to digest that. How is he performing? We मतलब लग ही नहीं रहा कि KL Rahul is his usual self.
I think KL Rahul कोहली के सीधे उस फेज में आ गया जहां पर कोहली का स्लम चल रहा था, बिना कोहली का राइज देखे. KL Rahul is so ahead of time.
No, but I think one thing that we all agree on, and I'm glad that we do, is Ashwin had a bad day. And I don't think he should be dropped on just one performance. Again, I have my bias towards wrist spinners, but it's only his base between Chahal and Ashwin, and the fact that Ashwin brings that additional batting element. 100%, I think Ashwin, our fans should have faith in him.
Yeah,
I think he'll come around again.
Ashwin is the best spinner that we have got in the squad in terms of available players, right? Agar Jadeja hota, then maybe Ashwin Jadeja में
not just in our side. I'd go to the extent of saying one of the best पूरे tournament में. He's probably the best spinner around.
नहीं तो अश्विन के अलावा बाकी सारा स्पिनर सिर्फ ओवररेटेड है. अच्छा स्पिनर और कोई नहीं है, बाकी सारा स्पिनर ओवररेटेड है. जैम्पा को विकेट कैसे मिलता है ये भगवान ही जानता है, क्योंकि जैम्पा भी नहीं जानता है, बट मिल रहा है उसको भगवान जाने का. केशव महाराज is really good though. Keshav Maharaj has improved a lot and is doing really well. But I don't know. जैम्पा वैम्पा को अगर ये लोग विकेट दिया कभी पूरे पूरे टूर्नामेंट में ना, इंडिया का बैटिंग लाइनअप तो वेरी डिसअपॉइंटिंग। बट या
Bavuma
फाइनल
की बैटिंग पे कुछ रोहित भाई, before we go to the final wrap up, anything on Bavuma's batting?
Yeah, see,
I'd like
he's
to
a
hear.
good man. He's a good man, and I would like him to succeed in the next two matches.
आप
मतलब मतलब
एक मिनट सॉरी, हाँ एक थोड़ा सा कॉफी विद करण स्टाइल में सवाल है कि रेट दीज बैट्समैन ऑन द स्केल ऑफ
in the match presentation, he himself said that all the players are informed barring me, and he was very modest. And plus, the fact is, he's also feeling that thing. He's feeling the heat because Hendricks is sitting outside, another color player. He can come in any day, not disturb the quota selections, and yet do much more better. Iska strike rate is 113. His strike rate is 140 plus. He's scoring at almost an average of 40 plus. He's in mid 20s. So Bavuma is feeling, because आप कब तक just being on the basis of being the captain, आप कब तक अपने टीम में आप अपनी जगह बनाए रख सकते हो? Because public will question. Because see, all of you should remember, South Africa is still looking for their first major win in any major tournament.
yeah,
They haven't yet got. And by defeating Indians, they have shown that they have the potential.
They won the 98. They
वो तो
won the
shit-
1998 ICC tournament.
हाँ,
People
मतलब
sure.
मतलब पीवी भाई भाई है. देखिए, one of the things we have to remember, they have got a left armer, three right armers who are very, very different from each other. They have got one left arm spinner who is the traditional orthodox type of left arm spinner. They have the another one, the Chinaman Tabriz Shamshi, and all of their bowlers are doing very good. Riley Rosu, Quinton de Kock, Markram, David Miller, everybody is performing fantabulously. Only two players who are not yet shown the true potential. One is the 6th number batsman Stubbs, who is very new, and another is Babuma. And आपके पास बाहर में बैठा हुआ है हेंड्रिक्स और क्लासन, दो लोग जो कि इक्वली गुड हैं. So he would feel the heat कि भाई perform करो, otherwise perish. That's the big thing. And see, again, good man, and people want that good people should have good stories to be written about them. So I would like he scores run, not of course against us if we meet in the finals, but उसके पहले बनवा देते हैं स्कोर अच्छा है, फाइनल में हमारे खिलाफ कम बनाएगा. That's it.
Yeah, I think I agree. 110 113 का स्ट्राइक रेट पे भी अगर वो 35-40 रन भी बना देना, that's a lot.
बिना विकेट गवाए,
बिना विकेट को गिराए. I think that'll be his contribution.
But I think something that has worked in favor of Bavuma and against KL Rahul primarily is that Bavuma's side won the game, right? अगर Bavuma का side हार जाता वो match, then he would have that extra little pressure, being the captain and a non-performing opener, right? तो वो pressure of course है Bavuma, but the point that I was trying to make on the scale of worst batting performance in the World Cup, arrange these batsmen, Temba Bavuma, David Warner, KL Rahul, and of course Hyder Ali.
Very easy. He has to take the top spot without doing anything, dropping catches, not being the captain. He's the worst. Number 2, I would say KL Rahul. He is not scoring runs. He is short on confidence. Number 3 would be a very close tie-up between Warner and Bavuma, but I'll keep Warner over number 3 because Bavuma is still at this moment captaining the side and they are winning the matches. So आप उसको उस चीज के लिए तो नहीं कह सकते ना, he is doing everything good there. But then out of these 4, trust me, Warner का हर dismissal has been very unlucky. पहले मैच में बॉडी में लगकर बॉल विकेट पे गिर गया, आउट हो गया, बोल्ड. आयरलैंड के खिलाफ पूरे लेग साइड में एक फील्डर है, पुल किया सीधा शॉट फाइन लेग में, उसके हाथ में कैच चला गया. सो डोंट डिस्काउंट वार्नर. विद इन हाफ एन आवर ही इज गोइंग, और विद इन मतलब आज उसकी बैटिंग है. न्यूजीलैंड आज नहीं सॉरी नॉट टुडे, न्यूजीलैंड एंड ऑस्ट्रेलिया है ना आज. टुडे वी हैव
नहीं न्यूजीलैंड ऑस्ट्रेलिया तो हो गया.
Sorry, we have England today. Sorry. Jab bhi next time, Warner will score runs. You cannot keep him away. He's a champion cricketer. He's a champion.
Big match player hai. Another big match player.
Absolutely. He will score. There is absolutely means, aap ye sochiye, Australians, they have kept Steven Smith out. Jagah nahi mil rahi uske liye. Cameroon, Green is out, who was doing so good. So you can just imagine. and people were questioning about Stoinis and all. मतलब ये लोग सब बाहर बैठे हुए हैं, there is no doubt about कि best 11 is playing. भाई वो ग्रुप थोड़ा सा ट्रिकी हो गया है, देखते हैं उस ग्रुप में क्या होता है, लेकिन मजा आएगा उस ग्रुप को देखने में. That's the thing.
Nice. So India versus South Africa match. Any final comments on the game, and how do you see? I mean, primarily from India's perspective. South Africa वाले देख नहीं रहे हमारा.
I think final comment I would make is I don't think we spoke enough about Arshdeep, talked enough about, so maybe I'll just touch upon that. Arshdeep जो पहला 2 विकेट लिया ना, same length पे, same line पे, एक ball बाहर, एक ball अंदर. I think that to me was reminiscent of Irfan Pathan when he first burst onto the scene. 140, 145 पे ball swing करा रहा है. I think Arshdeep for me has been the revelation of this tournament, or maybe he was just always this good and I hadn't seen him bowl enough, but he's been a revelation. Like, he's the guy who I'm most looking forward to seeing in the next match.
Rohit bhai?
I'll tell you one thing. I'm very happy, Maniman, ki India has lost one match. Why? I'll tell you. I'll tell you. I have a reason behind that. 1983, we won the World Cup. We got defeated at the hands of West Indies. एक match हारे थे. In 2007, when we won the T20 World Cup, then also हमारा पहला match was a tie, ball out हुआ था. It was not that we had won that match. So एक match में तो हम लोग कभी खराब करते हैं. Even in 2011, हम लोग tie किए थे South Africa के साथ. We lost.
We lost the South Africa and we tied
South Africa we lost. तो देखिए हर टूर्नामेंट में जब भी हम लोग जीतते हैं ना, एक कोई मैच हमको हारना होता है. अदरवाइज क्या होता है, आई विल टेल यू, चैंपियंस ट्रॉफी की तरह 2017 सब जीत के पहुंचे, एक श्रीलंका से हारे थे लेकिन फाइनल में हार गए. तो एक टुटका है, हार गए, एक हारना था, निकाल दिए.
नहीं रोहित भाई, सब नहीं चलेगा. ना 2013 में जीते थे हम लोग अनडिफीटेड.
बताइए, आप चारों मैच के लिए तैयार रखिए, केक काटेंगे साथ में. वी आर गोइंग टू विन.
आप इस हार में जीत देखने के लिए इस हार को नजर का टीका बता रहे हैं.
भाई अब तो हम लोग इंडियन है, ऑप्टिमिस्टिक है, हर चीज में हम लोग
ऑप्टिमिस्टिक तो है. I think KL Rahul एक बार बस फॉर्म में आ जाए, I think we have good chances. Bowling is looking good.
भाई हम लोग बहुत, भाई 130 बनाकर
डिफेंड ऑलमोस्ट कर दिए थे.
डिफेंड करना शायद सबके बस की बात नहीं थी.
Unless you are Zimbabwe and playing against Pakistan.
And you have Hyder Ali in the opposition.
So that's the thing.
But very true. This was supposed to be a cracker of a match, and it was a cracker of a match. Despite being a low-scoring game, it lasted for the complete 40 overs almost. Some concerns in India, primarily the batting lineup and the batters who are struggling a little due to skills and some mental issue. I don't know. Mental issue क्या मतलब कि वो mindset issues is what I should say. वो फिक्स हो जाए जितनी जल्दी उतना अच्छा है अपनी टीम के लिए, because now the big matches are coming. ठीक है, जिम्बाब्वे बांग्लादेश को भी पूरी तरीके से आप लाइटली नहीं ले सकते क्योंकि आप हार गए हो एक मैच, राइट. और सेकंड एंड करने पे न्यूजीलैंड का सामना करना. न्यूजीलैंड इज द बूगी टीम that India always has had in all the ICC tournaments. So that's another concern, but lot of good performances from the team. अपना middle order कम से कम नंबर 3 नंबर 4 पे रन है हमारे पास. The openers has to improve significantly, and finishers as well. Finishers haven't come to the party. That can become tricky if we are setting up a total going forward. So that's that. I think thank you for tuning in, and thanks Rohit bhai, thanks Rahul for joining and making this discussion as much more colorful. Thanks for that. Keep watching, keep listening. Have a good day. Thanks. Bye-bye. Cricbits and Pieces, an unexpert panel.